And hello and welcome to everyone who is watching our live stream. The first of the talks of the Truth Talk series called The Hidden Cost of Caring. So welcome. I hope we've got a few people joining us. This is live. You can watch it later on as also will be on my profile for some time. But quick introductions. My name is Rumyana, and I have the great privilege to be the host and organizer of these Truth Talks. And these are talks on topics like women in business, women in leadership, health and well-being, really key topics for us women into transitioning from either career or in leadership, in entrepreneurship. And I am a founder of Coach Right Speak, a business coaching and training company for female entrepreneurs. I am a nurse turned entrepreneur myself, and I am on a mission to redefine how women from healthcare, from career and healthcare, transition into entrepreneurship, helping them repurpose their skills, their knowledge and expertise, and package it into service, into a high value offer that they can sell with confidence and build the impact and income they truly deserve. Because I believe if your skills and service changes other people's lives, you deserve to have a business that changes yours. And today I'm honored to have a very, very special guest. We have Fredah Kamau here joining us today. She is a fellow nurse. She is a fellow certified coach. She is a woman with a great expertise and skills in her field, but she's also doing some amazing work. She's got a mission of her own, tapping and researching and having this a huge speak up project on leadership, on preventing burnout and helping how other professionals thrive in their career. So we've got so many interesting topics to cover today. Only 25 questions for you. I am
Just
joking.
25. Yeah.
I'm joking. It's just about 4 or 5 questions, about 30 minutes of this talk. But I'm so excited because I know the passion you have for what you do.
Yeah.
And not only that, you have been recognized by TEDx as a speaker. You have some
Yes.
exciting things happening. Not only that, you've got a real lot of things happening.
Mm-hmm.
So welcome, Frida. And just please quickly
Thank
introduce.
you.
I'm sure I've missed something. Please introduce yourself.
No, thank you for a lovely introduction. I'm so pleased to be here. Thank you for having me. It's really a privilege and an honor to meet a fellow healthcare professional who speaks your language, shall I say. And like you said, I'm a mental health professional and I've been a nurse for over 20 years, both in frontline and in leadership. And throughout my career, I'd obviously experienced my own share of what it feels like to be in health and social care. I've worked in adult social care as well as a registered manager. So I have a wide experience of what's going on in the health and social care industry. And, having done all that of all those years and having that experience, figured out what else can I do to help people in my industry because I believe in impact. And I've always wanted to position myself as an impactful leader. And the impact that I felt that I should give now is to go back to my healthcare professionals and help them through the struggles that we all know exist in healthcare, through coaching and through any other means, speaking, and any other time that I can be of help and of value to the industry. So yes, I'm
Yeah.
so pleased to be here and so pleased to have this conversation. And I can't wait to share with everybody this morning.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Frida. Your experience and your practice in NHS, I mean, it's invaluable. You've been in different, different places. You've worked with your senior member yourself. You worked with people from different backgrounds. And like you
Yeah.
say, what's happening right now as, the NHS is experiencing all different challenges. It's not enough to to be mentioning those challenges and kind of offering that as sympathy or support on just a one-to-one level. That's important. As you know, as colleagues, we always we build in teams, we work in teams, we offer that support. But when there's a calling or need for kind of bigger raising awareness or speaking up, I think really honorable thing that what you're doing, you're putting yourself forward, to do the work you're doing and to reach out to more people. So I want to hear more. Let's start here.
Yes.
You've been in many senior positions, and you know the challenges as a senior leader that you experience. So what are the signs, talking about burnout and preventing a burnout is it's a buzzword. Many people mention about it, but when you really have a quiet moment to yourself and you think about what are actual symptoms, especially for healthcare leaders that are experiencing, what would they should be watching, that we probably have seen that as part of the job. People say, oh no, actually this is just part of the job. They assume that's a normal thing. You get used to the antisocial hours, the on calls, all sorts of pressures. So what should people be mindful of? What could be a sign of a burnout?
That's a great question. And I must say, when you're in the front line and when you're leading, you don't actually see the signs of burnout. And this is the what I want people to get today. This conversation is about putting a mirror in front of every one of us to kind of have a look at ourselves and recognize what's going on. Like you've rightly said, in health and social care, there is such an emphasis on working, 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 and delivering, delivering, delivering. And the people who are delivering are not pausing. They're not taking a moment for themselves. So for that, I would say, watch out for when you feel that you're more tired than you should be, that fatigue that you've been ignoring for so long. How long has it been going on for? So you're finding that your emotions, your emotional, your emotions are not the same. Your compassion isn't the same. Sometimes you feel that you're numb and you don't feel the same compassion as you used to be. So these are some of the hidden things that you would notice. So that you find that there is a fog in some places where decision making becomes harder. Things that you used to be able to in a snap of your finger, you make a decision that you're slowing down. You're not as sharp as you used to be. Whether in a room full of people in a meeting or in your response to emails, you're overthinking. You're taking your time to respond. You're not too sure about yourself, but you're not really speaking about it. And
Second
this,
guessing,
and this idea of doing more. We always think if I do more, I'm gonna get this thing done. If I get over this crisis, things will get better. After this week, things will improve. And if you're doing that and you're not pausing, you're not stopping, then you get caught up with the other signs, which include the physiological signs, where you start to have the chronic stress that affects your sleep, that affects your concentration, that affects, you start to have symptoms like migraines, and you start to have symptoms like abdominal pains, things that you can't really explain. And these are things that we ignore. And there are things that unless somebody tells you why you're feeling the way you're feeling, you don't really think about them. And I think the worst sometimes is when you are giving so much that you've forgotten who you are. Yeah, you lose touch with your true self. That you don't even have time to do the things you used to love. You don't go to the gym. You don't spend enough time with your family. You're not there with your besties. When they invite people for a party, you're not available. I mean, you don't even have the energy to go for drinks anymore with your friends. So you lose yourself. And because you have given so much to this industry that you love, that you have lost the self-love without realizing.
And that's the scary part, isn't it? Because we naturally, and I say we because I'm a former nurse and I've been in NHS and private sector for years, and I know healthcare professionals, anyone in health and well-being sector, you are heart-led, purpose-driven professional. You don't
Yes.
do the job just for the paycheck. You are
Mhm.
so committed to the work. And I remember driving home thinking about a patient. Did I miss that? Did I do everything? You constantly, you are in that giving mode, serving
Mhm.
mode to a
Yeah.
point. I know, like skipping lunches, or you because you've had an extra pressure at work, or the workload is increased, or someone's called in sick, the
Mhm.
late shifts and all this, and we keep kind of sacrificing and giving because we love our job. For us,
Yes.
nursing is more like a vocation than
Yeah.
just a job.
Exactly. Yeah.
Suddenly, over time, that giving, it consumes you. Like you say, you almost forget who you are. You keep saying no to normal things
Mhm.
like social activities, even
Yeah.
like you say, for spending quality time with children. Because when you come home so emotionally drained, physically drained, when what's left for your loved ones and for the people and for yourself as well. So
Mhm.
that makes me ask the next question, which is, you have been doing a lot of work and research in this area from a personal experience. And I know everything you said resonates with me because I have been in that burnout trap for
Mhm.
months, and actually nearly a year. And it took me so long to recover. So everything you say resonates with me. But then my question is, what is the actual cost? Okay, so these are the symptoms, like you said, the
Mhm.
migraines, the stress, not eating properly, not having enough social interactions. But what are the actually, if you prolong with this, if you don't take action, what are the costs that then we pay?
So it's really a huge cost. If we think about it and break it down, you think about the mental cost, the emotional cost, the physical cost, all of those things. For an individual, if you're the healthcare leader or healthcare professional who is
Mm-hmm.
going through this, you know, spinning the wheels and never
Yeah.
stopping, initially it's going to catch up with you. And like I mentioned, the emotional cost of that will be, you find your reduction in decision making, your reduction in the ability to have the clarity of vision, the things that you used to love, you're not able to have that passion any longer. The fatigue when you're
Yeah.
doing the job, even decision fatigue, it's really something to look out for. Your memory lapses, those are things that you need to be mindful of. Then your emotional cost, you're feeling disconnected. And to me,
Yeah.
that is really, really a hard thing because as nurses or healthcare professionals, we go into this industry because we love to care for
Mm-hmm.
people. We go in with compassion, but it gets to the point where you start to experience compassion fatigue. And this
Mm-hmm.
is where you've given too much, you've given over and over for a long period of time that you stop to feel. You stop to feel the
Yeah.
same way you used to feel. That loss of joy, loss of fulfillment, you feeling empty. That the things
Yeah.
that used to move you about attending to your patient's needs, you don't
Mm-hmm.
get up and go as quickly as you used to be.
Yeah.
So it's really sad that we get to that moment. And yes, there is hope. There is hope, but we can recover from compassion fatigue as well. But just watch out for these things because when you have become emotionally drained, it starts
Mm-hmm.
to sip into your family, into
Yeah.
your relationship, because you start to snap at other people when you get home. Even their compassion for your kids and your loved one is
Yeah.
wearing thin as well. So it's not just at work, but it's what is coming through at home as well. So just be mindful about these unprocessed emotions, the anger, the frustration. We are going through so much trauma
Yeah.
over and over again. And then your physical health, the physical cost. And I think this was the tough one for me because I've been a healthy person for a very long time. And to get to the point where I started to have unexplained symptoms that my GP couldn't explain.
Yeah.
No lab test could give results as to what was going on. But it
I remember as
was,
well.
yeah, it was the chronic stress.
Mm.
Over time, it starts to manifest physically. And those symptoms, don't ignore them. You can't keep taking painkillers over and over. You have to think, what is the root cause of these migraines? Why is my
Yeah.
abdominal pains, flaring up? I've got these gastrointestinal problems, immune suppression, all of these things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What's happening? something is disrupted. Obviously
Yeah.
you're not sleeping another one. You're not sleeping over and over because you're going to bed with your unfinished to-do list.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I didn't do this. I wonder if I did this right, even the things you did. Oh, I sent this email. I hope I worded it correctly.
Yeah.
There is so much that you're thinking while you're going to bed that it
Yeah.
takes forever to fall asleep. And the quality of sleep, when you do fall asleep, if you do fall asleep, it's not great. And,
No.
and I recall I used to actually sometimes wake up to write my to-do list for the next day because I remember, oh my goodness, I didn't do this thing. I need to write it
Wow.
down so that when I get to work the next morning, I'll finish it. So yeah, so
Yes.
that the physical cost is what then it leads us to burnout. We want to prevent the bigger issues of heart disease and burnout syndrome. This is
Yeah.
we want to stop ourselves before we get there. So, keep an eye on those costs because they're high costs.
They
And
are
this
high
is for the
cost. They're high
individual.
cost.
Yeah. And for the organization, obviously, when you're not functioning to your maximum capacity, it's affecting the people you're working with. The delivery
Yes.
of care is not the same quality.
Mm-hmm.
You're reduced in your capacity. If you didn't sleep well the previous night, you're not going to come back with your cup
Yeah.
full. We know
Yeah.
very well that we should not serve from an empty cup, but we've poured it so much that it is costing us our quality of care to the patients,
Absolutely.
risking
So it's
errors. Yeah,
cost on both sides,
on both
right?
sides, on
Yeah.
ourselves and on the organization and the
Yeah.
people we're working and giving care to.
And that's so interesting, saying, because it's
Mhm.
not just one dimensional, one directional. It's not. We're not talking about tired. We're not talking about I'm tired after work. We're
Mm-mm.
talking about chronic suppression of your, like you say, physically, emotionally, unprocessed emotions that you are overexhausted for a long time, and
Mhm.
usually happens to the overfunctioning, to the strong people with so much responsibilities that they push through, they push through
Yeah.
for months and even years, up until their coping mechanisms, their emotional, their physical, mental well-being. We're not just talking about one side of us. We as humans, we have layers of to feel well and healthy. We've got
Mhm.
mental health, the physical health, the emotional health,
Yeah.
and when things are not processed, not addressed,
Mhm.
that chronic tiredness builds up, and the coping mechanism then just leads you to that one day when you feel completely, like you say, crushed. And
Yeah.
I remember going to the GP myself and asking, I've been taking supplements, I've been doing so
Mhm.
much, I'm
Yeah.
trying to be healthy, but there were certain symptoms that were showing up, and I was like, I can't explain, what is this? Why am I feeling this way?
Yeah.
Why am I
Yeah.
constantly with this fog? And why am I
Yeah.
feeling so drained all the time,
Mm.
struggling to get myself motivated, having this anxiety and all that? And again, but what you've pointed out is the cost to us,
Yes.
in our health, in our
Yeah.
emotional and mental health,
Yeah.
our families that are
Yes.
directly
Yeah.
experiencing what we bring in. Well, we've got nothing left in us
So
when we come
true.
home,
Yeah.
but also the organizations, because
Mm.
I know the organizations are trying their best to raise awareness, but
Mm-hmm.
again, the accountability and ownership of taking action and knowing, building the boundaries, because it's a process. It's not just taking an extra day off. This is
No.
it's a whole thing of changes that needs to happen. It's not just going for 1 hour training online or in person or whatever.
Mm. Mm.
So raising awareness that the organizations themselves have a high cost to pay
Yeah.
unless this really is spoken about and acted upon.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
I can count individuals, including me, have taken time off work
Yes. Yes.
months and months. And these are
Yes.
amazing individuals in senior positions that have been
Yeah.
very valuable members of the
Mm-hmm.
whole team, that had to, they've pushed, and they had to take, then they didn't have choice. They
Mm-hmm.
had to take time off because of how their health deteriorated.
Yeah.
So this leads me to the one of the last questions. So why, I know you're choosing to work with leaders
Mm-hmm.
in leadership positions, in healthcare. Why those people?
I think leaders, having been one myself, we are in a position of high expectation. We are
Mhm.
responsible for the people who are responsible for the care of the sick and vulnerable. And we
Yes.
feel this huge responsibility on our shoulders that I cannot afford to be sick. I cannot afford to be under functioning. I am accountable. I am responsible. I am the to go to. People come to me. So
Mm-hmm.
we feel the need to feel strong and to be strong. We see ourselves as people who hold the team together, who
Yeah.
keep the engine running. So if we are not there, or if we are not functioning to that high level,
Mm-hmm.
high capacity, then we feel like the team is not going to do well. So leaders are very selfless. Yes, in general, healthcare professionals are quite selfless, but leaders even more so. Because of the big responsibility they have, they want to be present. They
Yeah.
want to be available. They want to feel that they're
24/7. They want to,
24/7.
yeah.
They are on call.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
checking their emails at
Mm-hmm.
home. The lines are blurred between family and work life.
Yes.
So we have to be, as leaders, I feel that, I did not recognize these things until I was in leadership position. And I did not recognize them until somebody put a mirror in front of me and said, Fredah, what you're going through, could it be burnout? Because leaders, we want to make sure that this week, like I said, sometimes we're like, oh, it's a crisis phase. These are excuses we give. It's a crisis
Mm-hmm.
phase. Once this crisis
Yes.
is always over, I'll get over this. Or
I'll be okay.
it's a staffing issue. Once we are well
Yeah.
recruited, yeah, we'll be fine. Oh, we're going through an inspection. Once the inspection is over, or we'll be
Mm-hmm.
able to slow down and we can then reap the rewards of our hard work. But
Mm-hmm.
the reality is the industry never stops.
No.
It's a machine that just keeps going
No. Yeah.
every day and all night. So we lie to ourselves that it's just this moment and I'm going to be okay tomorrow. But leaders, we need to get to that point where we are like, no, I need to take moments of silence, pause, reflection. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because we feel we don't have the time, but I want you to ask yourself one question. If I do not give myself 5 minutes, 10 minutes to stop and think, how sustainable is this lifestyle I've adopted?
Mm-hmm.
Think this way. In the next 6 months, what is the cost if you carry on the way you're carrying on to you, to your team, to your organization, to your family, and even to the career that you love so much?
Yeah.
What is the
Yeah.
cost? So this is my loving and difficult question to healthcare leaders. Ask this question to yourself. What is the cost? And I really
Yeah.
want people to recognize that if you do not take action, something will have to give. Something will give. It could be your health, it could be your career. So I'm calling all healthcare leaders to just pause. Think about even this week. What can you do? What can you say no to? What can you
Mm-hmm.
delegate?
Yeah.
What can you delay? Because not
Yeah.
everything is urgent. Okay, so that's the long answer to why I want to work with care leaders. I want them to be to put to help them to self-reflect.
I
Yeah.
love that
And I want
because
to help them self-preserve because
yeah.
self-preservation is self-leadership. And that's what's going to help them to have sustainability. So we are talking about sustainable leadership. So
Yes.
when you lead yourself by taking care of yourself, you're going to last longer as a leader and you're going to be a more efficient and effective leader. And your
Yeah.
team will flourish because you are in a better position as a leader. You fill your cup now and again, and you
Yeah.
recognize that's what you need to keep doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like in anything, in business, in career
Mm-hmm.
growth, sustainability, you can spin wheels
Mm-hmm.
and try by forcing to last another week, to last another month, just to
Yeah.
go over this
Yeah.
crisis and manage this firefighting
Yeah.
situation or whatever. But then there's no inbuilt sustainability because sooner
Yeah.
or later you'll run out. And
Mm.
again, I can't emphasize and agree more. And I really, you've kind of given even different perspectives to this. How important is to look at this, to pause and look at it, and to look at the bigger picture. It's
Yeah.
not just to cope for today. It's not to say,
Mm.
oh, I'm going to have 2 hour break or half an hour, half a day today or something. That is not what it takes. It takes a change of lifestyle, change of leadership, learning how to manage things differently. to become a better leader for yourself, for your team, for your organization. Same in business as well. Business owners often get stuck working in their business, working themselves to the bone. And then the business, there's no vision, or there's no the roadmap, there's nobody to navigate things, because you're just working yourself to the ground, working in the business, or working so hard, but then you're not leading by example for your team. How you're supposed to be managing a service or a team when you yourself don't have the awareness and to manage your own mental, physical health and well-being in the team. And it's really, really important. And what you're mentioning here is really that first step, raising the awareness.
Exactly. So I'm creating a safe space. I'm creating a safe space where leaders can come and share without shame, without fear. And because at work, leaders can be lonely. You're surrounded by people, but you don't really have somebody to go to. So you take it all in and carry it only by yourself. So, you may not have a support group at work. So if you don't have that, if you have that support group, go to and share with other leaders. If there isn't one, create one. But my work is also for your one-to-one moment where you can have that space where you can come and cry if you want to, and just express and vent and, face what's going on. Yeah.
Amazing. And I know a little bit more about your work, and it's not only the safe space, the not judgment, the professional space where you hold someone that they can come and they share, but also is you provide the tools of how people can face not living in denial, because a lot of the time when we go through this, we don't even know what we're going through. We know that we're not happy, we know we are strained, we know that we're barely keeping our heads above water, but we don't know what's happening to us. We're in just defense mode and in denial almost. But having someone who is experienced and qualified and know the tools and the skills, what needs to happen. And first step is just having someone to talk to, another professional who is going to be not judgmental, safe space, who would be a confidential space to provide that support, to hear you first, and then also to provide the tools of how then you move forward. Move forward to save your health, physical health, to save your mental health, to save your emotional health, to save your relationships at work, your job, and around your family, because this is crucial when we work ourselves to the ground with how leaders are working in these conditions. So many of them, the costs are really high. So thank you for raising this. And I just, I've had quite a few light bulb moments that, it's so nice to hear someone talking about this with empathy and sharing and speaking up, because a lot of people are struggling and suffering in silence.
Absolutely.
And this is so important. And then please share. So then share how people can. I know you've been working on putting some a quick check, like a scorecard. People can self-assess themselves just to see where they're at.
Yes, so I've created a self-assessment tool, like a survey, where you can assess your journey to burnout. Just a few questions to answer, and this quick survey gives you results of where you are on that road to burnout.
If you are on burnout,
Yes, and you can find out where you sit on that scale, and then it gives you practical tips on how you can get support. And with that, obviously, based on where you are, if you feel to work with somebody like myself, then we can book like a 30 minutes free consultation to go through your results and just give you some advice and guidance on what you can do take it from there. So that's something that we're going to link somewhere where people can go and do that assessment. Is a free tool. Just use it and see where you are. It's going to help you.
Amazing. Thank you for creating that. I know those type of self-reflective quizzes are very short, 2 to 3 minutes, but they really take you on and kind of highlight a few things for you to see for yourself and to see where you are at and to have that self-awareness. And thank you so much for offering valuable time, your time, 30 minutes free consultation for anyone who wants to take action, who's been feeling off, who knows that this is not how they usually feel, and they want to have a confidential chat to explore what their results might be and how you can help them, they have this opportunity to book an appointment. But the biggest exciting thing I want to hear from you, you've shared with me that you've been invited to speak on TEDx stage. I mean, like, that's amazing. Please
Oh,
tell us
yes.
when, what's the
So,
topic of your talk? Because
oh
that's
my
amazing.
goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited on this mission of mine of caring for the carers, because you can call me the carer's carer by now, because I'm advocating for care
Yes,
workers. And because of this mission, I just
yes.
put myself out there and I said, I want a platform where I can actually speak from a bigger stage and tell people what I'm
Oh,
about. So on the 5th of October, at St Albans Arena. That's where TEDx is happening. And I am inviting everybody to come. So
oh,
we'll put the link there for you as well
yes.
to book your ticket. And I'll be talking about who cares for the people who care for us. That is a
Wow.
big question I'll be throwing out there for
Oh,
people
Frida,
to reflect. So
I'm
I'm
booking my
excited.
ticket. I can
Please.
tell you this. I'm booking my ticket.
Please, I look forward to seeing
Yeah.
you there. Yes.
Definitely. Thank you
Yeah,
so much for you showing
no
up here and
problem.
sharing this with us, because
Yeah.
this is not one person problem. This is,
No,
imagine how big our healthcare system is.
I know. Yeah.
I, by heart, I'm a business owner now, but by heart, I'm a nurse and I'll forever be a nurse. And being a nurse from leadership position, I know the amazing work, not only nurses, everyone from the porter to the lab person to the doctors,
Mm,
the
yeah.
extent of pressure and the
Yes.
sacrifice they do, they put
Yes.
themselves last.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is so crucially important. And focusing on helping those people, raising the awareness, picking
Mm,
up with love and care, just to say, hey, what you're going through, you don't have to go through alone.
alone.
And most
Yes.
importantly, there are tools and ways you can support
Yeah.
leaders and individuals who are in even extra pressure situations where they're caring not only for patients, they're caring for the teams that are caring for
Mm-hmm.
patients. And
Exactly.
and often is just the pressure is so high, we don't have time to have this one-to-one conversation with a trustworthy person that we can
Mm-hmm.
share our emotions, because we often just bottle things in and we try to be productive by pushing and pushing and pushing to be more and more effective and ticking the boxes, but that's
That's
not
it.
doing us a favor, our
Absolutely not.
patients, and the
Yes.
organizations. We are failing the organization, we're failing ourselves.
Yeah.
So I really urge everyone who's listened to this and who will listen to this to take the quiz. It's a free resource that has been offered kindly by Fredah. And even better, if you can book for that an amazing event for the TEDx speech, and reach out to Fredah. She's someone with a big heart. She is someone who really cares. And this is an opportunity to have a free chat with her, consultation with a specialist who would listen to you and also guide and suggest things that you can do, practical tips, and offer you that guidance and support. So just thank you for everyone who's watched us today
Thank
and is going to watch us.
you.
And thank you for you, Frida.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
really,
Thank you
really
for having
honored.
me. It's
My
such an
pleasure.
honor. Thank you.
We'll
All
definitely
right.
stay in touch. Thank
Sure.
you,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.